Lord Ullins' Daughter is a poem composed by Thomas Campbell. He talks about a hauntingly beautiful, romantic, immortal love which has a kind of a tragic ending. He has composed this in a form of a ballad. A ballad is nothing but a poem, a story poem, which can be set to a kind of a musical rhyme. It can be set to a kind of a song. And the rhyme scheme for this poem is simple A-B, A-B, which gives it a kind of an easy way of singing the song. He has also used plenty of poetic devices. You can feel his visual imagery when you're talking about the sun and the skies and the storm. You can feel the spray of the water coming over you. And he also uses, his poem is strewn with alliterations. Alliterations which words like the storm shade, the human hand, the bonny bride. These words give it a kind of a musical quality, and when you hear the song being sung, it kind of takes you back into right to the medieval Scotland when this entire story began. The story begins in medieval Scotland, in a place of rugged mountains and wooded glens and deep lakes, which are called as lochs in Scotland. It begins when the England or Scotland during those days, it was full of little clans and little tribes, and they would constantly be having feuds and wars and fights with each other, all the time trying to gain upper hand over another. This poem begins when one of the chieftain's daughter falls in love with the chief of another chieftain, another tribe, and this creates deep anger in the father, who is Lord Ullin, and he's so furious with his daughter that she has fallen in love with somebody whom he thinks is unsuitable. So at this time, when the story begins, when the poem begins, both Lord Ullin's daughter and her beloved Lord Ulva are running, are being chased by Lord Ullin's men, and they've reached the shore of, when they reach the shore, they find that there is a huge storm which has sprung up, and they are unable to cross the border. At that time, he spots a boatman, and that's when he says, "A chieftain to the highlands bound cries, 'Boatman, do not tarry.'" And he's saying, he's come running to the shore, and he's saying, "Boatman, don't tarry, do not delay, do not linger. I need to go and take me across a ferry. I'll give thee a silver pound to row us over the ferry." So he's anxiously asking the boatman to take him across the ferry. This dark and stormy weather, now who would you be who would want to cross this loch? Now the boatman is extremely surprised to find somebody at this juncture, at the peak of the storm, who's wanting to cross the loch. So he asks him who he is. And he says, "Oh, I am the chief of Ulva's Isle. I am the chief of the Ulva's Island, and this is Lord Ullin's daughter, and fast before her father's men." Now he is anxious that his father's men, her father's men, should not come and catch them when they're about to take off. So he says, "Quickly, fast before they come in there. 3 days we have fled together. For 3 long days we have been trying to elope, trying to escape. But should he find us in the glen, my blood would stain the heather. I will surely be killed, I will be slain if he ever catches me now. His horsemen hard behind his right. I can hear his horsemen are coming, pounding down, trampling down behind us. Should our steps discover, should they find out where we are, then who will share my bonny pride? Who will take care of this beautiful girl who is so dependent on me? She has left her family, she has come with me. Who will take care of her if I am dead? When they have slain her lover." Out spoke the hardy Highland Wight. When he heard this, the hardy Highland Wight, the boatman, was so moved by what was said. He said, "I'll go, my chief. I am ready." It's not for your silver bride, but for your winsome lady. I'm not impressed with the money that you are offering me, the silver coin. I don't want that. What I will do is definitely take you across the ferry, mainly because I want to do this for this beautiful young innocent girl. And by my word, the bonny bird in danger shall not tarry. Definitely, I will make sure there will be no more delays. I will try and take you across as quickly as I can. So, though the waves are raging wide, it is, the tempest is building, the storm is building, I'll row you over the ferry. I'll take you across the ferry. By this, as they were speaking, the storm grew loud apace. It built up in tempo. The water rate was shrieking. It looked as if the spray of water which was coming across looked as if it was like a ghost. It had an image of a ghostly appearance. It gave a kind of a symbolic feeling that there was going to be some danger ahead of them. The ghost did not, it looked like an evil omen which was visible. This is more an imagery which the poet is trying to convey to us. And in the scowl of heaven, each face grew dark as they were speaking. As they were talking like this with the boatman, the clouds gathered dark and storm. It looked as if the rain would pour on them. It was frowning, and again the imagery is conveyed that the tempest and the storm is building in fury little by little. But still as wilder blew the wind, and the night grew dearer, adown the glen rode the armed men. As we were talking, and the wind picked up speed, gathered with the tempest, the night grew much more dearer. It became a little more dangerous now, but at the same time they heard the sound of the men riding behind. Trampling sounded nearer. The footsteps could be heard, coming closer and closer. They're coming down the valley, riding on their horses. "Oh, haste thee, haste!" the lady cried. She was so anxious. She heard the sound. She wanted to run right away. "Though tempest round us gather, I'll meet the raging of the skies, but not an angry father." So she says that I would rather go across into the stormy desert, into the stormy tempest, but I don't want to meet my father who's really raging with anger. I'd rather meet the stormy sea rather than meet my raging father. And the boat had left the stormy land, a stormy sea before her. There was a stormy land, which is basically they're talking about how the Lord Ullins' men created a feeling of tension for her, created a feeling of storm there. But she went to the stormy sea also before her. This is a transferred epithet. We'll get into all those details later. When, oh too strong for human hand, the tempest gathered over her. Now the boatman was doing his best in the stormy weather to handle the boat and take them across the ferry. Unfortunately, the tempest was so powerful, so strong, that he just could not handle it. It was too strong for human hand. And still they rowed amidst the roar. In spite of it, he tried to row them across the ferry. Waters fast prevailing. The water was swiftly coming over them, they were circling around them and into the boat. The Lord Ullins reached that fatal shore at that point when they were in the middle of the storm, and he was trying his best to take them across. Lord Ullins' men reached the shore. When he reached the shore, he was angry at that point of time because he knew that this was the place that he will find his daughter. But his wrath was changed to wailing. His anger changed into weeping, wailing, when he realized, oh my God, what has happened? My daughter is caught in the middle of the storm. And so dismayed through storm and shade. He was so dismayed, he was pained and dismayed and saddened to see that she was in this storm, stuck in the middle of this tempest. His child he did discover. One lovely hand she stretched for aid, and one was around her lover. At this point, the daughter also noticed that he had approached the shore. Instinctively, her hand went out to ask for aid. It was more an instinctive response. At the same time, she made a very clear symbol that she was not deserting her beloved. She put her arm around him and put out the other arm as if reaching out to him. Please help me. I want to get back. I don't want to die. Come back, he cried in grief. He was saddened and struck with grief. His only thought was he needed his daughter back safe and sound. He called her, come back, across the stormy water. It doesn't matter even if it is I will forgive you. I forgive you, Highland Chief. My daughter, oh my daughter, don't go any further. Everything is forgiven. Just come back to me, safe and sound. Towards Wayne, the loud waves lashed the shore. Return or aid preventing. It was too late now. They are too far gone now. Aid, they could not return, and neither aid could be given to them. Neither could he help them, neither could they get back. It was too late. And the water wild went over his child, and he was left lamenting. So the storm waves closed over his daughter and her lover, and they met their tragic end, and he was left all by himself, lamenting that was the end of his daughter. Now this poem gives a feeling. We have a lot of rhyme scheme and imagery and poetic devices that we can talk about. We can look at more details, but this is only an outline that I have shared. And the idea is that this poem is very poignant and very haunting, because it's as if though this happened way back in the medieval times, it's as if it has happened even now in today's world, because we have all those kak panchayats, we have these honor killings, which is doing exactly what happened there. There are people who still feel that the choice of the girl, the lover, is something which the parents disapprove of, which is happening even now. So it's a poem which is very, very touching, and when you hear it, especially being sung with the violins accompanying it, it kind of leaves you with a very tragic sense of loss. The things need not have had it to end this way. If only we could have a dialogue, only if we could talk, only if we could resolve. It's too late for them. I hope it is not too late for the others. In the end.